The Boogeyman has a kill count, but it's mostly off screen and some not dead. This right there, that's a not dead. That means anytime you get dragged off screen, that should mean that you got killed, but not here. He just sort of knocks you out and then you're in the chase scene in the end. And I think you have to move afterwards too, because this like Boogeyman, he creates like mold inside your house and everything, so you can't breathe that forever, dude, or you'll die in the long run. That's a very long play, Boogeyman. The little girl of the family happens to be afraid of the dark, sleeps with like a globe thingy, lights on in her room and everything, and this Boogeyman happens to be afraid of the light, so polar opposites, right? And they have a very cool like video game scene. She's playing video games in the dark. I don't know, turn on the lights then, you know this Boogeyman's after you. And then the Boogeyman sees her and throws her against his TV, and that's another not death. They could have very easily killed that little girl right there, but she just ended up being in the emergency room for a little bit. Hardly any inconvenience to her at all. Like an hour later, she's back at the house fighting the Boogeyman in the basement. This was the most confusing one too. I was like, oh yeah, alright, I guess this therapist is going to have to die because they're doing this like exercise. Like, hey, I'm going to have this like red light. It's going to get darker and it's darker a little bit more, so you realize there's nothing to be afraid of. And in this whole sequence, you start to see the Boogeyman's in the corner of the room. And it's like, why the hell did it didn't kill and eat the therapist right there? Like, oh, it's right there behind her, and then nothing happens. I was like, oh man, did I miss something? did she die real quick and I didn't see it? Yeah, we probably only got one on-screen death right here. Somebody hung themselves in a bedroom. It's PG-13, so if you blink, you missed it. This mental patient guy goes to this therapist and he's telling him, hey man, I'm seeing this Boogeyman and everything, and oh, you better watch out. He comes after your kids when you're not looking. He killed my kids all off screen, so you don't have to worry about seeing it. And he sort of gives them fair warning and everything, and then he goes upstairs because this guy has his therapist's office inside his house, and then he hangs himself. But she heard a struggle like the Boogeyman did it, and this family has it tough as it is already because they're dealing with the death of their mother. And guess how she died? Oh, just like how all parents die in horror movies. Off screen, maybe in the early car accident scene. Dude, The Pope's Exorcist, Megan, and Terrifier 2, all off screen deaths of the parents before. Alright, Terrifier 2 is different. They explained the off screen death like that, but come on, Terrifier 2 was so gory, they could get away with that. At least Megan showed the car accident. And I was thinking this little girl might have died right here. Alright, like it starts off really nice and wholesome. Dad's like, alright, monster check is done. I'm not seeing anything here. That's really cute. And that was a cool camera shot too. Like a couple of camera choices was very cool here. She has that light globe, but it's like, yeah, check that corner of the bed, and I think this is about the only time we see this goddamn monster. And to me, it seemed like she died because it seemed like to drag her underneath the bed. And then it's like, no, fake out. She didn't die at all. Like, what? I mean, this monster doesn't really even try to kill you. Just sort of beats up little girls. Remember the guy with the dead family? Well, dead family, not dead wife. Kids are dead. He's dead. She's still alive. She's living at the house. Rita. The other girl meets her, and she goes, hey, I think this thing's been around forever. Like, we gotta set up a trap. I got a bunch of candles and everything. Doesn't like light. I'll tell you the rules. She straight goes, psych. I'm using you as bait. I'm gonna shoot this thing with a shotgun as soon as it shows up. She also set up like booby trap shotgun shells. So the thing got lit up with shotgun shells. She shot it a couple of times, but the thing still didn't die. Got up and killed her. Sadie, the final girl, runs across town to try to meet her dad and her sister, but gets snatched up by the Boogeyman. Not killed here too, just knocked them out until she got there. Then they both went downstairs to try to battle this creature with no game plan, mind you. She was just armed with like a golf club. And whatever happened to that little girl's like orb thingy, dude? Like, do flashlights galore if you're going down into the basement. The dad actually helped out stabbing it, and then they beat it by lighting it on fire. They didn't bring the gas or anything to light it on fire either. It's like spilled paint thinner. It just so happens they were able to light it on fire. It actually ends at a therapy session. Everybody leaves except Sadie and the therapist, and they see the door fling open, and they go, "Is everything okay?" And then she shuts the door, and that's it. No sequel happening here.